Okay, first of all, thank you, Dr. Sonia, for spotlighting food insecurity, and I actually hope to work with you one day so that not only we have accessible food for folks in our communities, but also the transport of that food is sustainable as well. Which brings me to why I'm here today. And so I am Radin, as Jasmine mentioned, and I am the founder and CEO for Transit, where we are innovating for the sustainable movement of people and goods. And how we do that is actually that we've invented 2 patent-pending hardware products that attach to the exterior of trucks, medium and heavy-duty vehicles, as well as an IoT air quality monitoring device. So we're focusing on fuel efficiency as well as environmental impact. Now, in order to paint a better picture of what we actually do, I want everyone here today to imagine a windy day. And I know we don't get a lot of that in Los Angeles, so if you've ever visited for the city that I'm from, San Francisco, you know that it's a constant struggle. Now, I also want you to imagine if I put on your jacket a lot of tiny little golf balls, right? And they have these intricate little dimples on them. And what that allows for you to do is to easily move through and maintain your momentum and not get exhausted. How? The air glides right off of you and it creates this pathway for you, reducing that struggle. And it's not just trucks that we're targeting, it's multimodal. So we have non-dry goods tankers, we have trains, we have trucks that carry cargo containers. So really going across the transportation landscape. And how we've done this is that we've repurposed history. So the golf ball, we've scaled and optimized that geometry to go on side skirts for vehicles that then save up to 1,200 gallons of fuel per truck per year. The second technology harks even further back in our history to the armor, the medieval armor, and that pointed shape we've actually been able to leverage to create a technology that saves up to 3,000 gallons of fuel per vehicle per year. So what we're really targeting is costs on 2 fronts. One, obviously, for fleet owners and operators, and then us as end users, our pocketbooks are saved a little bit, right? And we're able to save upwards of $6,000 to $7,000 per vehicle. But most importantly, there's the cost to health. And what we've discovered is that medium to heavy duty vehicles actually contribute to $53 billion in health costs. And that might just be a number, but when you look behind those billions, it's actually lives saved or lives lost. It's respiratory and cardiovascular health issues that arise from air pollution. And I keep mentioning we, and it's because I'm supported by an incredible team of co-founders. My CTO, Ryan Logsden, has been building devices and things all of his life with his grandfather, and once he was able to learn how to code software, he gave these inanimate objects life. My Chief Financial Officer, Armin, has had decades of experience helping medium to different types of startups and other businesses financially operate and strategically operate efficiently. And then there's me, who's obsessed with sustainability. When I was 6 years old, me and my dad built our first drip water irrigation system in our backyard. And we moved now here to adulthood, where I've been deploying connected autonomous vehicle and smart city infrastructure deployments in the Bay Area. And when you take all of that brain power and all of that ambition and put it back to the table, where you wanted to do more. We didn't want to just stop with the hardware products. So we asked ourselves, how do we convert climate change contributors to more as climate change agents? And that's where the Birdie Box comes to life. And it has an accompanying dashboard as well. The Birdie Box itself is small, it's lightweight. We pack about 16 different environmental sensors into it, and it dynamically collects data across our neighborhoods mile by mile. And down there you can see kind of how tiny and small and put together it is. And what the AMPLIFY program really allowed me to do was research even more into the impacts of why this device and this technology is important and why we need to build it for our communities. And to give some perspective, more than 70 million people in the United States live near truck and freight routes and are affected by that pollution as results. And to bring it back home to Los Angeles County, more than 60% more of Angelinos and our families are exposed to air pollution than the state average of folks due to medium to heavy duty vehicles. And this is where it gets really sad. The American Lung Association recently released an air report, and they gave Los Angeles a grade of F. That means we failed. We failed our residents, we failed our families. But I can't point to a certain agency or a certain person and say it's your fault, because there's a chronic data problem, and you can't measure what matters. So there's, these sensor systems by the government, there's sensor systems from private companies, you might have heard of them, Purple Air, et cetera. But the issue is twofold. One, they're spread so widely apart that they don't portray an accurate picture of our communities. And then two, there's no data integrity, and no one's really, holding the data accountable. And so these really important toxic releases or pollution outbreaks are kind of missed every day, day to day. And if you can tell by the map, those who suffer the most are equity priority communities and our underserved communities. And then also within the 16 weeks, I was able to talk to speakers and all of our amazing, mentors and folks from the Pacific Council, which allowed me to see there are 3 key things that I need to focus on. One, air pollution solutions cannot be one-dimensional. And so that's the ethos that we pulled into building our technology and our dashboard and making sure that the data is, common language and actionable for multi-stakeholders. Next is that air pollution solutions require neighborhood-level data so that we can actually target and be able to impact the neighborhoods that need better policies faster, sooner, and better. And lastly, air pollution solutions cannot be single stakeholder. As a society, we like to tackle big problems in silos, and these chronic health issues just keep persisting because we're not collaborating. Which brings me to, not only are we innovative in our technology, we're also innovative in our business model, and we found a way to bring everybody in. We have public folks from local and state agencies in the mix, not-for-profits, I apologize for the word nonprofits down there, and have community-based organizations and foundations involved. And then lastly, we found a way to bring in hospitals, real estate companies, and think tanks to contribute to the problem solving. Our local to global roadmap is very clear. We finalized terms with an LA City partner, and we bring in a 1-year, 4-quarter proof of concept pilot. We use the first 3 quarters to do the data capture and all of that, and then the last quarter to really iterate the dashboard and make sure that all of the stakeholders are able to use this language and find the data actionable. We move to 235 localities, and then we go global. The cost of the Birdie Box is $459, and as we grow and we scale, we're able to bring that cost down to only $130 and make sure that it's accessible for all of the communities that we're operating in, as well as capitalize on economies of scales for sensor technologies. My ask here today is $400,000 for pilot deployment, and that breaks down for the cost for the 20 Birdie Boxes that we're going to be deploying, as well as operational and maintenance costs. So in addition to investment, I'm also seeking from my AMPLIFY and Pacific Council families, as well as our greater community here today, to connect me to municipalities, fleet owners, operators, as well as any individual who is connected to this mission and moving the health of our communities and better air quality for everyone forward. And when you go to lunch today, I know that I'm the last presenter, I want you to think about the food that's on the plate and think about how it got there and how we can work together to change how that food is sustainably moved mile by mile, neighborhood by neighborhood. Thank you, everyone.